Good morning, kids. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing good. Welcome to another episode of the Abyss AM edition. I am your host, of course, the Eternal Abyss. I have my coffee. I hope you have yours too. We have plenty of topics that we're gonna talk about today, and I just want to say hello first of all to everybody on all the various platforms that I'm on. I want to say hello to everybody on Bitwave. I want to say hello to everybody on Periscope, DLive, YouTube, Twitch, and Float. I think I got them all. YouTube. Did I say YouTube? I don't think I said YouTube. Hello to everybody on YouTube, if anybody's even watching. Like I said, I got my coffee. I actually started out this morning with a little bit of a cappuccino. I did things a little fancier this morning, but I'm back to my regular coffee. So we're not gonna break tradition or anything. Just want to throw that out there. I mean, the point is caffeine and news. So, maybe I can get away with some variations of coffee. I don't know. You tell me. Apparently I got a message on Twitch, a spam message on Twitch. Okay, cool. I'll take that. So hey. Yes, I saw that Illustrator. Welcome to the stream, by the way. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Bloomberg. We're going to talk about Ilhan Omar. We're going to talk about Cindy McCain. In fact, we're going to start out with Cindy McCain. So yesterday after the stream, news came out that Cindy McCain, wife of the late John McCain, endorses Joe Biden. Does anyone care? That's the biggest question in my mind. Does anybody really care? John McCain was a horrible senator, a horrible presidential candidate. He was not a conservative. He was a rhino per excellence. The guy was a terrible, terrible individual in terms of the policies that he promoted. He pushed war. This was someone that was constantly criticized by the left, and now somehow, because he was involved with the Steele dossier, because he opposed Trump, and they're basically liberals, they're basically Democrats in Republican clothing, somehow I should care that she endorses Joe Biden. Like, that's supposed to change my mind as a conservative. Actually, that reinforces the fact that you shouldn't vote for Biden. If someone like a McCain supports Joe Biden, that should be a clear indication that you should steer away from that candidate. That's really what it boils down to for me. I don't care about Cindy McCain and what she believes in and what candidates she supports, because her husband's policies when he was alive were just terrible. They were absolutely terrible. There was nothing good about what he did. And like I said, he was just a rhino. I mean, this guy was the definition of a rhino. So, hey, thanks for sharing the link, Newtwo. Troll Newtwo. Gotta take a sip of my coffee here. It might be a little bit too hot, I think. It's a little hot. Drinkable, though. So, I mean, we're starting out with a bang here. And then Trump at one of his rallies was talking about that, saying, like, they can have her. I mean, they can have her endorsement. So, I thought that was hilarious. That, I think Beeves mentioned Oh yeah, looks like you're logged out. Oops. um, but yeah, basically, he just said they can have Joe Biden's, they can have Cindy McCain's endorsement. Like nobody cares. That does nothing. Hey, Meave, welcome to the stream. Always appreciate you swinging by. So yeah, that's what we have yesterday. And speaking of the rally, Trump had a massive rally yesterday in Ohio. There's estimates, people saying that there are easily 50,000 people. And uh, you have Ilhan Omar, this piece of work, okay, who was criticizing, saying that ICE shouldn't be deporting people because of COVID. She's been calling for a defunding of ICE. She's been bashing America left and right. And Trump and everybody else has every legitimate reason to criticize her. And this is trending right now because a lot of people on the left are like, oh, what Trump said was racist. What Trump said was racist. No, there's nothing racist about what Trump said. Trump made a legitimate critique. This is what he said, and I'm paraphrasing here because I'm not going to play the video because YouTube's going to just try and copyright strike me if I try and do that, because no matter what I play, they're going to copyright strike me. Even my own royalty-free music, they copyright strike me on. So I'm just gonna paraphrase, and lots of no maskers at the rally. Yeah, I have something to say about masks as well. I just saw this tweet today. Stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. We're gonna get to that. But anyways, Trump said at the rally that she consistently cuts down America. She consistently criticizes it. She consistently does nothing but bash the country that has given her more than it has actually given native born Americans. Okay? She has had so many privileges and benefits of being in the United States. Yet she does nothing but trash it. It's kind of like the Merle Haggard song, "Fight Inside of Me," where he says they like our milk and honey, but they keep like bashing the United States. And this is exactly what she does. She's all for suckling on the teeth of American prosperity, but then she can't even recognize that this country has given her so much. And it's frankly disgusting because it really makes immigrants look bad, generally speaking. And I'm putting in my own 2 cents with this whole thing. But basically what Trump said was, she keeps criticizing the United States. How is her country being run? How is she running? How are they running her country? You know, that she had to come over here to get to get all the benefits that she's getting right now, and the prosperity that she's getting. So that's the thing that he said, and everybody on Twitter's like on the left, they're saying, "Oh, that's racist. That's racist." There's nothing racist about that. I would say that to anybody in any country. I don't care what color your skin is, what ethnicity you are, what religion you are. It doesn't matter what geographic location you originate from. You come to the United States, and the United States gives you milk, honey, benefits, all this wonderful prosperity. You live the quote-unquote American dream. And then all you can do as a thank you is spit on the ground that you walk on, and spit in the face of the government that has given you all these welfare programs and all these different things that have given you the benefits. That's the best you can do, instead of saying, I recognize that there may be problems in the United States, but the United States has given me a new home. It's welcomed me. I'm proud to be an American. I've never heard this woman say she's proud to be an American. I mean, apart from the fact that there's plenty of evidence of her committing election finance fraud. She's a home wrecker. She has called for violence against Americans. She has called for violence against American institutions. She's a domestic terrorist. That's why I call her a domestic terrorist. She's anti-Semitic. She's racist. She's sexist. She's homophobic. She said stuff against Jews. She says stuff against gays. She says stuff against different races. I mean, this woman is a piece of work. Exactly, Illustrator. They're the ultimate bad guest. They break down the door, they raid your fridge, and then complain about the food, exactly as you say. That's true. And you know what? I want to be very clear about this too. There are swaths, there are millions of amazingly wonderful immigrants that come to this country, embrace that American ideal, those American ideals, that American dream, that truly love this country. They become American citizens. They naturalize in one way or the other, either through service in the military or going through just the process. And you know what? Whenever I see I've seen some videos of these immigrants that swear the oath. And they go, they are naturalized and they swear an oath to the Constitution to become American citizens. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing to see all these people from different parts of the world come together and embrace what it means to be American. It's beautiful. It's touching. It's really touching. It really is. And it's a shame that people like Ilhan Omar put a bad light on all those wonderful people that have come, even in my own family line, in my genealogy. In my family line, I've had people that have come from overseas. They naturalized, they accepted being American, they accepted the American culture and dream. And America has welcomed them. And it's a beautiful thing. It's quite a beautiful thing. And it's unfortunate that you have people like Ilhan Omar that come in and do what they do. That they come in, they get all these benefits, and then all they want to do is destroy they want to destroy the mouth, the hand that feeds them, not the mouth. They want to destroy the hand that feeds them, that has given them the prosperity and all the good that they're benefiting from. For some reason, it's okay for them. It's okay for them to get all these benefits, but nobody else should, because this country is bad. This country is evil. The government is terrible, and everything should be burned down. And there should be violence in the streets. Now, this person, I really hope that whoever's running against Ilhan Omar beats her. She does not deserve to be in that position. She should be investigated, actually, for a lot of the election fraud and immigration fraud that's alleged against her, because she apparently married her brother, so there's also that for immigration fraud. So that's my 2 cents about her. It's not racist to criticize her. It is not racist to criticize what she says. It's not racist to criticize when she says something homophobic. It's not racist to criticize her when she says something racist. It's not racist to criticize her when she says something anti-Semitic or sexist, or when she incites violence. It's not racist. Let's just stop this now. I'm getting tired of hearing about this, that every time there's a critique laid against someone like Ilhan Omar or AOC or whoever. Yeah, I hope she does. I hope that AOC loses. I hope that Ilhan Omar loses. I hope that the squad basically loses. All these people on the squad are horrible, horrible people. And they do not deserve. Have a wonderful day as well, Troll 8BGX. And yeah, some stuff I use is Apple, some stuff I use is Windows, and everything sucks. Yeah. But anyways, point is point is we should be able, especially with free speech that we have in the United States. I mean, let's not even talk about the First Amendment. But apart from that, you should be able to criticize anybody. There should be equal opportunity criticizing and equal opportunity insulting. Free speech lets you do that. Okay? And a lot of people get all their feathers ruffled when people say certain things because they think it has to do with their race. No, it has nothing to do with their race. It has everything to do with being a hypocrite. It has everything to do with being an ingrate. It has everything to do with being totally unaware, or not necessarily totally unaware. They are aware, but being exceptionally obtuse about how you've been treated by the country that you moved to, and then at the same time you're kicking it in the nuts. That's really what it boils down to. So there's no reason to not criticize someone like Ilhan Omar or like AOC or like whatever her face is, Ayanna Pressley, if I'm not mistaken, is her name, who is actively inciting violence as an elected official. Yes, free speech, absolutely. And I will never back down from my critiques of her and of anyone. I've critiqued even Donald Trump. Like, I'll critique anybody. I have no problems critiquing people. That's the easiest thing someone can do, actually. Yeah, they use their race as an excuse to silence criticism. That's absolutely right, Illustrator. It's convenient. It's convenient to use a demographic element about yourself to try and shield yourself from criticism. Oh, you can't criticize me because I'm Catholic, or you can't criticize me because I'm Muslim, or you can't criticize me because I'm gay, or you can't criticize me because I'm black or Latino or Asian or whatever. That's a ridiculous premise. Your specific demographic, whatever it may be, religion, gender, race, sexual orientation, whether you're an Apple person or a Windows person. Though I will criticize you if you're a Windows person. I will criticize you for the technology you use. I will. You can't use that to protect yourself as well. Yeah, that is, along with, let me be clear, as a whatever I feel, is one of the two things that I just can't listen to. When someone says something like that, I immediately, my brain just says, you know what, whatever you're going to say after that, I have no reason to listen to you. Because your own personal experience, which is perfectly fine, your own personal experience is valid. And I'm not saying you can't have a personal experience and talk about your own personal experience. But when you say something like that as a Polish American, or as a Brazilian American homosexual, or as a whatever, if you have to premise that in your discussion, if you have to premise that in your discussion, that's the equivalent of saying, I don't want to be racist, but. Or I don't want to be, I'm not sexist, but. Or I don't hate gays, but. That's basically what you're doing when you say something like that. Like, as a black trans woman, it's just, it is a premise to me that you're going to say something incredibly dumb that it may be a valid personal experience. That's the thing. You can definitely have a valid personal experience that has no relevancy to the greater scheme of things. And your own personal experience is your own personal experience. I've had my own personal experience, but I don't try to use that to convince people of greater policy agendas or politics that the United States should have, generally speaking. My own personal feeling and experience about something is my own personal feeling and experience about something. And I can learn from that. I can talk about that with people. But I'm not gonna go around saying, you need to change the laws because I had this one experience with the cops. Or you need to change the laws because I had this one experience at my university. And, well, that sort of thing also stems, you know what? As an old high lady, I forgot, never mind. Hey MZ, thanks for coming to the stream. I always enjoy you in chat as well. No, basically when they say that, you know what it is? When they say as a whatever, I feel this, what they're saying is, well, my truth is this, which isn't a reflection of reality, is what they've perceived, their experience, their own whatever they want to label something as. Which, as I said, it's perfectly legitimate to have your own experiences, talk about your experience, learn from your experience, and maybe other people can learn from your experience as well. That's perfectly fine. Please change the stream. I'm feeling uncomfortable. But essentially, what it boils down to is this, though. Your experience is your experience. My experience is my experience. Everyone is going to have a different experience. You cannot have a social consensus, a societal consensus on everything. Just because one person had an experience or a group of people may have had some sort of experience. When you actually have concrete evidence of something, when you have a legal precedent, when you have major issues that are not just a personal perception of things, that's when you can actually have a sit down and go, okay, you know what, there's a bigger problem here that we need to resolve, and let's just address it. That's what it boils down to. What it boils down to is that a personal experience is a personal experience. Well, the thing is, sometimes people do straight out lie about their experiences. And sometimes people exaggerate a little bit about their experiences. I'm just reading what Chad is saying. Is that so? But yeah, that's what it boils down to. It's like, listen, I'm more than happy to have a sit down over coffee and have a conversation with someone about personal experiences. We'll share and swap stories. We'll talk about, our little adventures and the good and the bad that we've experienced in our lives and how that's shaped us, that's perfectly fine and legitimate, no problem. But if you want to tell me that I feel that I experienced this is what I feel is my truth, so therefore we need to abolish ICE. No. Those are two completely disconnected things. You can't request a change in laws, in government, in immigration law, or in any other aspect of the law because of an experience that you perceive to have had. And even let's say that perception is true. Let's say someone did have an encounter with a police officer that was racist, or with an ICE agent that was racist. Okay, let's pretend for the sake of argument that that's true. So you had that experience. Okay, fine. Let's learn from that. Let's investigate this objectively and say, all right, why did that happen? Was this a institutional thing that it was a policy of ICE to be racist towards people like you, or was it maybe you just ran into an asshole? That maybe you ran into a racist prick. 99.99999% of the time, it's going to be the latter. The laws that are on the books in the United States prevent this sort of thing from being legal, from being instituted, from being perpetuated throughout any organization, workplace, charity, what have you. Legally speaking, there is no possible way you can have something that is systemically racist, homophobic, sexist, whatever. Now, can you have individuals that are like that within organizations and charities and government? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, some people have experiences and some people have traumas. That's true. But the point that I'm trying to get at is this: is that individual experiences, while valid, need to be looked into with the proper context. And these individual experiences, even my own, there have been times that I could have claimed that an institution discriminated against me based on the fact that maybe I was Catholic, maybe because I came from an immigrant background, or maybe because I'm straight, or maybe because I'm male. There's a lot of different reasons that I could throw out there. But then if I actually sit down and look at my experience and go, well, no, I think I was just dealing with an asshole. That's really what it boils down to. And there's that old saying that Assange, I think it's the term, do not attribute to malice what could easily be explained away with stupidity. Same sort of thing happens with racism and other things. There's a good chance that many experiences that people have could be explained away with people just being jerks. People just being assholes. Now, like I said, that's not to say that there aren't individuals that are racist or sexist, or not just anti-gay, but actively, hate gay people. Okay, there are individuals like that out there. No denying that. But if you want to tell me that this is an institutional thing, that our Constitution and our laws and our judicial system and our corporate environments and everything that America stands for is essentially racist, homophobic, sexist, it's evil. I mean, I'm sorry, no, that is beyond ludicrous. That is absolutely beyond ludicrous. Well, Illustrator, you raise a valid point there, because it's not just certain groups. There's a big problem in society, in modern society. This isn't something unique to the United States, but there is a big problem within modern society where there is this increasing hubris of the human race, where people will not acknowledge their own sins, they will not acknowledge their own actions, and they will not take responsibility for said actions. Okay? In fact, the opposite is celebrated. Victimhood is celebrated. Tribalism is celebrated. Identity politics is celebrated. Doing stupid crap on the internet for likes and retweets and thumbs up and views is celebrated. And God forbid you do something responsible when you're looking for views, thumbs up, retweets, things of that nature. It's a very bad symptom of society when society cannot be introspective in any shape, way, or form. And Pope Benedict XVI actually, Pope Benedict XVI actually addressed this very effectively in one of his, I think it was one of his encyclicals, when he talked about moral relativism. And this is a big problem that we have in society nowadays, is this moral relativism. And this isn't anything new. This isn't a new concept. It's just taken different shapes and forms, but it essentially boils down to moral relativism, because what is happening with society at large is that individuals in society do not want to accept that there is a concrete right and a concrete wrong, a concrete moral and a concrete immoral. Everything is subjective. Everything is relative. You can't criticize how someone raises their kid because according to them, it's right. You can't criticize someone for getting a tattoo because for them it's right. You can't criticize pedophiles because it's a sexual orientation. You're just being a bigot. Because it's not a matter of whether something is moral or not. It's just your own personal subjective interpretation of that. So, according to some people, my subjective interpretation may be wrong, but theirs is right. So, we can all play that game, but at the end of the day, that creates a breakdown in society, because societies have existed since time immemorial. And the only thing that keeps societies together is a set of agreed upon rules that we all look at and go, yeah, you know what? We can all agree that that's kind of bad. Like taking other people's stuff without asking, theft. We can all agree that's kind of bad. You know, you shouldn't be touching my goats. Or you shouldn't be touching my sheep. Or my cows, or my tractor. Or, you know, you shouldn't be killing people willy-nilly. I think we can all agree on that. Most societies agree that you shouldn't be killing. But and even if most societies agree on that, the funny thing is most societies agree that, well, if you're going to try and kill me, I have every right to kill you in my defense. And killing in self-defense is perfectly okay. So that's kind of what I mean. It's like if everything is relative, then nothing really matters. Which is why you have problems in society when you celebrate bad things that are detrimental to society long term. Because some of these things that are celebrated in society may not necessarily be short-term things that you see an impact on. These have generational impacts. Generation upon generation upon generation. There's this, vicious cycle. There's this vicious cycle that happens in society where, I mean, you could just look at it with studies that have been done with alcoholics. When your parents are alcoholic, most likely there's a high chance that you're going to be an alcoholic as well. Abyss talks about killing people if your account ticks upward slightly. I wonder. But anyways, I'm gonna get off this rant because I could talk more and more about this. I could do an entire episode just talking about my views on the ills of society and how things can be fixed. But that's not really the point of this stream. The point of the stream is just to have more of a reactionary news reporting and my reactions and opinions based off of that. So moving on. So going back to what I was saying, I don't care about Ilhan Omar's, victimhood. That she doesn't bother me one way or the other, in the sense that she can claim whatever she wants. I'm going to criticize her, as anybody should. And if she has committed fraud and if she has broken laws, she should be investigated, and she should not be an elected official. She really should not. She should have been stripped of her seat a long time ago for inciting violence, for all the anti-male stuff she said, anti-Jewish stuff she said, anti-gay stuff she said, anti-American stuff she said, and like I said, inciting violence as well. So moving forward, there's still news about RBG. So apparently, this is the update for what's going on with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's going to be lying in state. Apparently, she's going to be lying in state in the Supreme Court, and then I think at Capitol Hill. Excuse me, drinking my coffee here. And then there's still a lot of discussion about the nomination, and it seems like the Senate has the votes. Lindsey Graham and some other people. Romney said he's going to vote on it, as I talked about yesterday, which shocked me and shocked a lot of people. That Pierre Delecto actually said he was going to vote. So the Republicans have the vote. They can vote on a nominee. And today, I think this was today, or maybe it was last night. It was yesterday. There was a resolution, a Senate resolution to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Ted Cruz blocked it. And good for him. He blocked it because of the partisan language that was in it, citing her dying wish. And I have to agree with Ted Cruz on this one. You want to honor someone, fine. You can honor someone, which I always find these kind of things kind of stupid anyways, to be honest with you. You're wasting taxpayer money. You're wasting taxpayer money and time to honor people as a House resolution or a Senate resolution. I don't care about that. You don't need to do a Senate or House resolution to honor someone, wasting my taxpayer money for your stupid little partisan pat on the backs of the people that you like. Do your job. You are elected to do a job. You are elected to be in the legislature for a reason, not to play government, but to actually run the government. These symbolic resolutions are such a waste of time. And they do nothing. They do absolutely nothing when it comes to doing anything positive for our country, the people, our economy. Nothing. There should be actually a ban. In my opinion, there should be a change in the rules of the legislation, of our legislative branch, that says, you know what? No more symbolic crap. You can't do symbolic resolutions. You can't do symbolic bills. You could only vote on stuff that actually is a bill and it is an actual resolution. Doing something symbolic like honoring someone, while it's all nice, there's nothing wrong. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to honor someone. But again, like I said, there's nothing pragmatic about it. It does nothing for the country. No, it should be gone. Remove it, ban it. I don't want to see that. My taxpayer money is not to be used for that. So, yeah, if the government started granting dying wishes, we would be in big trouble. Yeah, okay, so listen, how about this? My dying wish is that every Democrat gives every single cent of money they have, and every celebrity gives every single cent of money they have to me and my estate, and then I'll do whatever I want with it. Are you going to honor that one? Or no? Give me a break. Nah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that my taxpayer money is being wasted on this garbage, when there's far more pressing things to be worrying about right now. I mean, what happened to all the COVID stuff? What happened to what happened to helping people financially because they lost their job thanks to this COVID stuff? That was not a priority. That was okay to block. That was okay to delay, right, Pelosi? That was perfectly fine to delay. But, oh no, we got to do a resolution for Bader Ginsburg, RBG. We got to do that. Because, fuck the people that need money. Fuck the people that don't have a job right now. Fuck that. Excuse my language, but I'm getting fired up here. Yeah, you need money because you don't have a job. Oh no, that's not a priority for us. We gotta honor an old bag because reasons. Please, give me a break. My dying wish is balkanize the United States. Anyways, I gotta settle down here. Maybe I should switch to decaf. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too riled up. So moving on. So I say that's a good. I say that's a good thing that Ted Cruz did. I'm not opposed to it in any shape, way, or form. We shouldn't have these partisan nonsense going on in our government. We shouldn't be wasting our taxpayer money. And Ted Cruz in my opinion, Ted Cruz is getting more and more based. And I could respect someone like Ted Cruz as well because at least he has a sense of humor about himself. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was this really funny article from the Babylon Bee, which is a satirical publication, where there was this article because Trump had said, because there was initial talk about a Supreme Court list before Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, that Trump mentioned that Ted Cruz could be a potential on the list. That he could be someone that he would nominate to the Supreme Court. And then Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, and then Trump said, "Oh, I'm going to nominate a woman." Or, I'm sorry, I got to do the Trump voice. All right, I'm going to nominate a woman. All right. So, so Trump said that, and the Babylon Bee put this article out saying, "Oh, there's this relatively unknown judge that could be nominated called Theodora Cruzina or something like that." And it was a Photoshop picture of Ted Cruz as a woman, where they put makeup on him and they gave him they put a female hair on it. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And Ted Cruz retweeted that and liked it, and he goes, "A dark horse candidate. I don't know who this person is." See, that's the thing that I can respect about Ted Cruz. He can laugh at himself. He has a sense of humor. I don't think Marco Rubio would be that kind of guy. He probably would get his panties in a bunch if something like that were said or done about him. But Ted Cruz at least can laugh about it. And I appreciate that, at least. No matter whether I agree or disagree with his politics, which I don't always agree with Ted Cruz on everything. But at least I can respect that. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, if I get a monster, I'm gonna name people. Don't tempt me. The Eternal Fire Pit. Oh, we have an animated GIF of the guy with his feet on fire. Nice. Excuse me. You know, the first thing I thought when I saw that video, the first thing that I thought when I saw that video was, too bad it wasn't a girl, because then it would be so easy to put the song by Alicia Keys, "This girl is on fire." I was laughing so hard at that video because that was the first thing that I thought, and then someone put Footloose to it, and that was even better. It was the funniest thing I've seen in my life. But anyways, so yeah, I can appreciate people that have a sense of humor and that they can laugh at themselves. If you can't laugh at yourself, there's a big problem with you. You know? That was the problem with Kitty, actually. Kitty could not laugh at himself. He took himself way too seriously. He couldn't joke about himself. He couldn't just have fun. Everything was always so serious with him. That was the biggest problem that Kitty had, for example. That's a prime example, actually, of his problem. In all honesty. So, let me get rid of this little news item, because I already talked about that. Sorry, just making sure I'm getting my Twitter keeps messing around. Twitter keeps messing around with their user interface. I used to be able to bookmark tweets very easily for me to just reference and talk about. Now, for some reason, it's like I can't seem to bookmark anything now on my device. I think you can still do it on desktop, but on mobile devices, forget it. It's like impossible. I don't know what the hell happened. Unless it's something that they removed from my phone, I don't know. I have no idea. And other financial news, since we're talking about like what taxpayer money is being used for, there's a report that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, struck a deal on a spending bill that would temporarily avert a government shutdown. A vote is expected soon. Some of the issues that were discussed here is the agreement includes tens of billions of dollars to assist farmers and nearly $8 million in nutrition assistance. The bill was voted through the House and still needs to pass through the Senate before it becomes law. So that's a couple things that were discussed that are in this financial package, basically a budget package. So it would seem that for now a government shutdown is postponed. Which, you know, I've always found it interesting that this sort of thing happens. Like they don't talk about this, they don't discuss this, they don't organize this sort of thing up until there's a risk for a government shutdown. And I know why they do that, because the whole point is to put pressure on the other party to do what you want, saying, well, we just got to pass this because the government's going to shut down. So they throw all this crap in there because they're trying to force the hand of legislators to get what they want. It's a very underhanded, unethical way of doing budgets. I think it stinks. I've never liked that. I think that's another thing that should change in how our legislative branch deals with the budget. They should not be allowed to create this sort of pressure situation, because when you're talking about budgets, you should be able to just do the budget and that's it. and discuss what the budget is going to be used for, what it's not going to be used for, all these sort of things. So this sort of tactic that politicians use, and I'm not particularly pointing my finger at Pelosi per se, because this is something that all politicians do. Even though Pelosi there's plenty of stuff for her to answer for. She's another person that needs to be removed from office. Is that this sort of budgetary planning and voting on tactic really needs to stop. Because so much pork and so much crap is thrown into the budget because of that reason, because of how this is done. It is a detriment to the United States. It should not be done this way. It's absolutely disgusting that this is done in this fashion. I don't like it at all. And it shouldn't be done this way. That is something that Donald Trump could probably help fix. Along with term limits. There should be term limits in the Senate, and there should be term limits in the House, and I think there should be term limits in the judiciary. I think there also should be easier ways of removing elected officials when they obviously go against their oath of office, or they're inciting violence, or they're doing stuff like AOC is doing and Ilhan Omar are doing. When these people are using their position in direct opposition to the oath of office that they swore to uphold, and they're actually inciting violence, they should also be held liable for their actions. What they say has consequences because they have a very large platform. And I hate to say stuff like this. I hate to be the person that says, words matter. But in this case, it does, though. Because these people represent entire states. These people represent our government. They should be held to a higher standard. Because if they incite violence, there are people that will go with it. This is what happened with Lincoln. This is what happened with Reagan. This is what happened with Bush. George W. Bush, I mean. The vilifying of individuals based on nothing, based on no evidence, just because you don't like his policies. Abusing the system, like doing a fake impeachment, and even saying that you may try and impeach again just because you don't like the fact that Trump may be nominating another conservative to the Supreme Court. Nancy Pelosi did that. And then you have morons like Cenk Uygur. You have morons like Cenk Uygur saying, they're saying they're not going to use the budget to try and force Trump, but they don't want to hold the country hostage with the budget. Tim Kaine said he doesn't want to do the impeachment. They're just caving in because they're not going against every single ethical norm in the House and the Senate. Or they're not going against every single ethical norm when it comes to like the abuse of power. Because they're not abusing their power. Cenk Uygur is all sad. Boo hoo. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that the expectation of these people is that for them, things don't go their way, or they're unhappy with the current situation. Let's just change everything. I don't like the filibuster. Let's create a nuclear option. I don't like the judiciary. I don't like the SCOTUS. Let's just pack the courts. We don't have the majority. Let's just add states willy-nilly. I mean, this is insanity. This is insanity. These are children having hissy fits. This is what's happening. You have children having hissy fits that are trying to run a country. And you have people like Cenk Uygur, who are absolute morons, who think that it's perfectly legitimate to abuse impeachment powers. It's perfectly legitimate to try to arbitrarily. They're playing Calvin ball with the government and our country. Their idea of running a country and running the government and dealing with laws and representation and all that and problem solving, their idea is playing Calvin ball. And for those that may not be up and up on the reference here, Calvin ball, you know, if I don't know if a lot of people read Calvin and Hobbes. I loved Calvin and Hobbes when I was a kid. I loved Calvin and Hobbes. It was one of my all-time favorite comics. And there was this ongoing joke that Calvin and Hobbes, his pet tiger, stuffed tiger, would play Calvin ball. And there was some things, some strips where he was playing it with his babysitter, which he hated. And the reveal was that Calvin ball, like the babysitter was having a hard time understanding the rules. And the rules were in Calvin ball that there are no rules, that the rules just change arbitrarily whenever Calvin wanted to change them. This is what they want. This is their idea of running a country. This is their idea of interpreting the Constitution. This is their idea of resolving problems in our world. I don't like it. I'm going to have a hissy fit like a child and change the rules, like if I'm playing hide and seek and I didn't like the outcome of it. No, I don't have that sticker on my car. Actually, I hate it when people use that sticker because the artist and author of Calvin and Hobbes specifically did not license Calvin for anything. So people using that sticker is actually going against his wishes, and I don't appreciate that. So I don't like the sticker. I don't like when people use it because as someone who's delved in graphic design and things of that nature and artistic endeavors myself, if I didn't license something, I don't appreciate if someone just uses it willy-nilly and makes money off of it. So all those stickers are unauthorized reproductions, essentially, or unauthorized uses of that IP. So I don't really appreciate that. Mostly because they're making money off of it, off of this guy's creation without his authorization. That's really where the sticking point is for me. But yeah, this is their idea of running things. They're playing Calvin ball. And if you haven't read Calvin and Hobbes, I highly recommend it. I would say to anybody, go please read Calvin and Hobbes. It's a wonderful comic. Let me tell you about Pepe the Frog sometimes. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I get it. Yesterday also there was the AR-15 that was trending on Twitter because it had to do with Joe Biden and the NRA. And one guy, this guy called Billy McLaughlin. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But on Twitter, it's @BillyNRA. He's the digital director for the NRA. He's on the board, if I'm not mistaken, of the NRA. And he tweeted a tweet that talked about 3 major points about the AR-15, and it was trending. So he said he wanted to tweet these 3 things. One is that the AR-15 is America's most popular rifle. 2, FBI stats showed that 2 times as many people were killed with fists and feet than rifles. And 3, murder was 19% higher when these rifles were federally banned. So, and he also adds that as an addendum that AR does not stand for assault rifle. There's a lot of misunderstanding and myths about the AR-15. A lot of people don't know much about it. There's been a lot of fear-mongering about it, a lot of misinformation. And I'm not a gun expert. I'm not gonna tout any sort of expertise on rifles in any shape, way, or form. But even I know the stuff that he's talking about. Someone as uninformed as myself when it comes to what the AR-15 is and a little bit of its history, I'm woefully uninformed. But yet I know, for example, that AR does not stand for assault rifle. I know that the AR-15 is one of the most popular rifles in the United States. And I know that I know about those statistics that he's talking about. So it's hilarious that someone like me has just taken the time to do a little bit of research. Yet most people don't take 2 seconds to do a quick Google search. You think that if they're going to talk about a topic that they do at least a modicum of research on that? You have a sticker of Hobbs anally fisting Jenk on your car. I bet that gets a couple looks on your car. Turns a couple heads, huh? Lady Armalite. Gitchy, ya, da, da. God, I hate that song. Oh, God. Lady Marmalade. Oh. Such a horrible song. I'm sorry. The original wasn't too bad. The original was okay. That newer version that came out with like Christina Aguilera and other singers was just so bad. I don't know. It just never hit my ears right. It was just terrible. Oh goodness. Yeah, but what I was just saying was, it seems to me that it would behoove anyone to, at least if you're going to criticize AR-15s, if you're going to criticize rifles, if you're going to criticize the Second Amendment, maybe you want to just do a modicum of research. Just a touch. Just a smidge. Just a little itsy bit. This is all. That's it. So Hunter Biden is trending right now too. Let's see. Seems like Hunter Biden received millions from wife of ex-Moscow mayor. Oh, hold on. Jeez, I hate when Twitter does that. It just loaded the trend and it just immediately refreshed and I lost what I was reading. Gosh, this is such trash. So this happened in 2014. A new report by the Senate Homeland Security Committee indicates that Hunter Biden's private equity firm received $3.5 million from one of Russia's most powerful female oligarchs in 2014. A Russian oligarch, no less. Yep. So, wow. So even more news about the corruption and the quid pro Joe family line here, that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and the Bidens have profited in being in politics, that they are corrupt and they've engaged in quid pro quo. Even more allegations. Well, not just allegations. This indicates that this happened. This isn't even an allegation. This happened. The Senate report says Burisma bribed officials after Hunter Biden joined the board. And it seems like Hunter Biden also had business associations with Chinese nationals linked to the Communist government and People's Liberation Army. Those associations resulted in millions of dollars in questionable cash transactions. All while Hunter's dad was vice president. I mean, this is some pretty bad stuff. This is some pretty egregious stuff. Hunter Biden sent thousands of dollars to individuals who have either been involved in transactions consistent with possible human trafficking, an association with the adult entertainment industry, or potential association with prostitution as well. So not only did have these people dealt with tyrannical governments, dictatorships, they profited off of countries. They profited off of human trafficking. This is amazing. You know? Hunter Biden got $3.5 million from a wife of a former mayor of Moscow and patronized hookers trafficked by a Russian mob. And the left isn't even reporting on this. CNN, I don't even know if CNN is even talking about this. I don't even know if the New York Times, as of right now, the New York Times hasn't written diddly about this. This is some pretty egregious stuff. If this was like Donald Trump Jr., can you imagine the media storm that would be happening right now? People's heads would be literally on fire on CNN and MSNBC, screaming about corruption, collusion, profiting off of our government. Yet somehow, people like Brian Stelter, the eunuch, that's not a big deal to them. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me how the mainstream media is such a propaganda machine at this point. They don't care about reporting the truth. They don't care about reporting the facts. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It is absolutely laughable. Wow. And you know that the left's going to put their spin on it. You know that Biden is going to say, I didn't do anything wrong. Hunter didn't do anything wrong. And Chris Wallace, for example, Chris Wallace chose the topics. Is he going to talk about this now? Because it seems like he talked about, he picked the topics for the debate. Because the debate is actually a week away. Now I think about it, less than a week away. But he chose the topics. He chose the topics for the debate that's happening in about a week. And the topics are the records, Trump and Biden's records, the Supreme Court, COVID-19, the economy, race and violence in our cities, the integrity of the election. Well, you know what? With this sort of report, he should leave room for stuff like this. I want to see if Chris Wallace has the balls. I want to see if he has the chutzpah to actually talk about this sort of stuff and call out Biden for this. I want to see if he has the guts to do that. There's some people that say that Biden won't show. Or at least won't show in person. And first of all, if he doesn't show in person, there shouldn't be a debate. There is no way that there should be a Zoom debate. I would never agree to something like that because it would be way too easy to have a teleprompter or people feeding him answers and things. No, No. They have to be both on a stage. They have to be both face to face. And they have to both not know the questions. Nothing should be fed to him in an earpiece. There shouldn't be anything. And there should be drug tests. There should be the drug test to see if he's on any sort of dementia medication. There should be that. I just don't think that Chris Wallace has the balls to actually really hit hard questions on Biden. I really don't think so. I could be wrong. You know what? I hope I am wrong. I hope that Chris Wallace proves me wrong. I hope that when the debate comes around, he actually talks to to Joe Biden and goes, "Hey, Biden, what's going on with Hunter? And this prostitution, human trafficking, 3.5 million from the wife of a Russian mayor. What's going on with that? I want him to prove me wrong. I want to be wrong on this one. Chris Wallace, if you're out there, I don't think you'll hear this stream, but if somehow this gets to you in the ether in one way or another, show me that you have a pair. Show me that you have the guts to actually do your job as a reporter and as a moderator. I want to see that. I really want to see that. I want to see if he does that. Because I've been sorely disappointed in the past. I've been sorely disappointed with a lot of moderators in the past because they end up being part of the debate when they shouldn't even be doing that. But speaking of the debate, one thing that I do want to try and do is actually live stream the debate. We're going to try and figure this out and be transformative somehow because YouTube will probably try and shut me down. And we'll see what we can do about that. I want to do a live stream of that, and I want to do like a live commentary. Whoopsie. Hold up. What did I do? There we go. I hit the wrong window. Oh, absolutely, Illustrator. There's no reason why Trump and Biden can't share the stage. Especially if there's no one else in the crowd as well. Yeah, if it's just them two and the moderator, they could do that. Yeah, that's right, Chris Wallace. I am calling him out. I am calling you out, son. Absolutely. I want to see Chris Wallace actually be a moderator. The debate is about a week from now. The Abyss Factor, weeknights at 9. No spin zone. Oh, I can't say that. That's copyrighted. Trademark, whatever. Sorry, Bill O'Reilly. Sorry. Well, I got my own little thing. It's next Tuesday, yeah. Is it at night? It's at night. So you know what? Yeah, thank you for the link, Illustrator. So what we're gonna do, I'll probably skip the morning stream then. We're just gonna do it in the evening on Tuesday instead, because it's gonna be in the evening. Let's see here, September 29th. And then there's going to be, and this is the thing that I always found very dumb, actually. Let me address this for a moment. You have absentee ballots, you have now this whole mail-in ballot controversy, things like that. Oh, yes, I do want to talk about Bloomberg as well. Remind me before I end the stream that I do want to talk about this Keebler elf. But we'll talk about him in just a minute. But my plan for the debate is I will forego the morning stream and we'll just do the live stream we'll do a special, kind of like a special live stream event. In fact, I may even add that as an event on YouTube, so because you can do that now, scheduling stuff. So I may just schedule that. And it's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're going to be 90 minutes. They run from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Ticketing. Apparently, there is ticketing for it. In fact, I even got messages regarding getting tickets for the debate. So, apparently, they will have a crowd there. Yeah, I plan to. I plan to stream the debate. I'm going to do that. I'm a no spend lots of coffee zone. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, we're gonna try and do that in the evening, 9 p.m. on Tuesday. I won't stream in the morning. Um, I will try to get on a little earlier. I think we'll do like a little pre show. I think we'll do like an 8 p. Maybe an hour beforehand, so we have a nice hour to just kind of talk and have fun and get everything going here. So I'm thinking about that. I'm definitely thinking about that. How to format it. I mean, it's not gonna be much different than what I do now. They probably just want my personal info. Yeah, I'm sure they do. But I did find that interesting though that they would do that. And I really do wish, DSP official. I really do wish they would do like a 4 hour long form debate with Joe Rogan. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be amazing. I know Biden will never agree to that. They would never agree to that. And I really wish they would do that. Just a live thing, just live, 4 hours, long form. Just sit there and do that. Live from the Abyss Green Room, followed by the debate. Yep. Yeah, we'll have a little pre-show, and maybe depending on how things go, if I'm not aggravated to the point of wanting to spit, we can do a post-show as well. I mean, we'll definitely have a little post-analysis of the debate of what I think, of who I thought did better. And I'm gonna, the last time I followed closely on the debates, I actually went through this whole process of, listening. When I was listening, I was taking note on every question because I wanted to make sure I addressed everything. So I may do that as well, but I think it'll be a fun show. I do want to do that. So hopefully people on Bitwave will let me be the Bitwave exclusive streamer on this one. If you can, hey, tell Dispatch I want to be the exclusive streamer for the debate. If he can allow me to do that, I would love to do that if he'll let me. I can't control what other people stream though, so I'm not gonna say don't stream it to other people sniping it, but whatever. I'm just gonna do that. So I'm gonna stream it anyways, no matter what. And we'll do that at 9 p.m. But I wanted to talk about Bloomberg. So there's reports coming out that Bloomberg has been shelling out millions of dollars in Florida, okay, bailing out felons because they're trying to skew the votes in Florida. So that's the thing. That sort of thing really raises an eyebrow for me. Yeah, Senator Hitler will probably snipe it. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm gonna have it as well. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, but I don't understand how that's even legal. How Bloomberg can get away with doing that? How he could spend millions of dollars not helping people with COVID or anything like that, not helping with masks, not helping with any of that, not helping people who have lost their jobs, not helping anybody in New York, not doing anything charitable. I love you guys too. Yeah, he's only bailing out black and Hispanic felons. Ridiculous. But the point is, he's trying to unduly affect the election. How is that legal? Not only on the side of the election, but how is it legal for someone in another state to bail out a bunch of people in another state altogether? Like from state A, bail all these people out from state B. How is that even allowed? What is the matter with our judicial system? that it allows this sort of thing. Yes, chat must win. We must influence Patch on this one. Yeah. Besides, Hitler's a total libtard. Is he? I thought he was a bit more moderate than that. Interesting. Good to know. But anyways, the point is, I think he's going to get under investigation now because of this, because I don't think this is allowed. And I think Governor DeSantis needs to do something about this. Governor DeSantis has been based lately. Have you seen the stuff that Governor DeSantis has been doing in Florida? He's made it easier. No, not easier. He's increased penalties for people causing damage and harm while quote unquote protesting and rioting. No one wants to hear his liberal agenda. I don't listen to Senator Hitler very often. In fact, I haven't really watched too many streams lately on Bitwave. It's kind of on purpose because I want to try not. I want to just do my stream and have my stream kind of just be my focus. I don't want to have all these different ideas from other streams kind of seep their way, and I don't want to be a parrot for other streams. Hitler wants masturbating horses? What? What's the matter with him? He's middle of the road, but who wants that? I know, right? Oh, yeah, I know. Like, since the debts are being paid up front and the newly re-enfranchised felons are then free to vote however they like, one could argue that it's not really a bribe. But, I mean, come on. I don't know. That's some fishy stuff right there. I don't think it should be legal for him to do that. Okay? But Ron DeSantis, man, that guy is on a roll right now. He's making it. Like I said, he's increasing the penalties for people committing crimes while rioting, looting, and doing the whole protesting thing. Hitler and Spooky are gay lovers. Wow, that's pretty left field if you ask me. Yeah, probably. But He's also added protections for people. Like, if you get surrounded in a car by all these protesters and you drive away and you hit someone with the car or whatever, he's actually reduced, like, he's made it so you're not responsible. Oh, the article actually talks about the laws that are involved? Okay, I hadn't read an article about it just yet. This just came out to me. I just saw it in my news feed, so I didn't really look into that so much. So let's take a look here. So a clever bit of I'll just read through this a little bit here. A clever bit of gamesmanship by Democrats. I mean, I am the supreme reader, so I should be able to read a little bit, right? Oh, that's interesting. Some side news is that Seattle City Council votes to override mayor's veto of police funding cuts. Nice. At least the City Council of Seattle is slightly sane. So anyways, a clever bit of gamesmanship by Democrats who've otherwise been thwarted in their attempt to return Florida's many hundreds of thousands of felons to the voter rolls in time for the election. In 2018, Floridians passed a constitutional amendment that restored the rights to vote to anyone who'd been convicted of a crime other than murder or a sexual offense. That would have put a gigantic number of new voters in play, many of them poor and minorities, in a state that Trump won by little more than 100,000 votes 4 years ago. Can't have that, Republicans said. So the state legislature passed a law stipulating that felons could only regain their right to vote if they paid off all outstanding fines and court fees related to their cases. The policy was savaged as a de facto poll tax. A lawsuit ensued, but the new statute was upheld by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Voting with the majority, Barbara Lagoa, one of Trump's new SCOTUS shortlisters, according to WAPO, some 775,000 felons still owe money to the court system. They're barred from voting unless and until SCOTUS itself says otherwise. Or, of course, unless they manage to scrape together the dough to pay off their fines in time to vote for the upcoming election. Mike Bloomberg has vowed to spend $100 million in Florida to try and get Biden over the top, much of which will go to advertising and GOTV projects. But he and his team had a bright idea. What if they looked through the long list of felons with outstanding debt and just paid off the debts for people who owe only a small amount of money? And what if, instead of helping out every ex-con with a small fine still outstanding, they helped out only those ex-cons who are most likely to vote for Joe Biden, namely black voters and Latinos to a much smaller extent? For the comparatively low price of $16 million, Team Bloomy may have just added tens of thousands of votes to Biden's eventual total. I wonder how many votes the same amount spent on advertising would have flipped, especially given how intense polarization is about Trump. A few hundred, maybe? So, Bloomberg's group is targeting felons who are already registered to vote. But presumably, if they can find the money, they could expand this program to other black ex-cons who aren't registered and get them on the rolls in the next 2 weeks. Which raises a question. Exactly what sort of interactions are happening between the ex-cons whose debts are being paid and either Bloomberg's group and or the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition? If you go to sleep one night owing $1,500 to Florida's court system and wake up the next day to find that a benefactor paid the debt for you, you're surely going to ask why. Why would anyone be so generous? And even if no one tells you to your face that they're trying to purchase your vote for Joe Biden, it'll be clear enough from the press coverage that the deal is here. What the deal is here. Quid pro quo. You're indemnified on your fines, and in return you go to cast your ballot for Joe. That sounds like a bribe. Although it's a bribe that was only made possible by the Florida GOP's insistence on creating a new obstacle to Floridians' attempt to restore voting rights to most of the state's felon population. A noteworthy statute. A person who gives anything of value that is redeemable in cash to any person in consideration for his or her becoming a registered voter commits a felony of the third degree, punishable as provided in blah blah blah. I'm not going to read through all that. This section shall not be interpreted, however, to include such services as transportation to a place of registration or babysitting in connection with the absence of an elector from home for registering. A person who by bribery, menace, threat, or other corruption directly or indirectly influences, deceives, or deters or attempts to influence, deceive, or deter any person in the free exercise of that person's right to register to vote at any time upon first conviction commits a felony of the third degree, punishable as provided in blah blah blah, and upon any subsequent conviction commits a felony of the second degree, punishable as it provided in as blah blah blah. This may explain why Bloomberg's team is focused only on felons who are already registered to vote rather than those who could conceivably get registered before October 5th. Under both sections of the statute, money paid to influence someone to register is a no-no. But it doesn't say anything about money paid to someone who's already registered. Kinda. But I mean, you're still bribing, essentially. But anyways, let me wrap up here. Let's see. How about this statute, though? Whoever by bribery, menace, threat, or other corruption whatsoever, either directly or indirectly attempts to influence, deceive, or deter any elector in voting or interferes with him or her in the free exercise of the elector's right to vote in any election commits a felony of the third degree punishable as provided by in blah 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 for the first conviction, and a felony of the second degree punishable as provided in S blah 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 for any subsequent conviction. No person shall directly or indirectly give or promise anything of value to another intending thereby to buy that person's or another's vote, or to corruptly influence that person to another in casting his or her vote. Any person who violates the subsection is guilty of a felony of the third degree, punishable as provided in, etc. However, this subsection should not apply to serving of food to be consumed at a political rally or meeting to any item of nominal value which is used as a political advertisement, including a campaign message designed to be worn by a person. Since the debts are being paid up front, and the newly re-enfranchised felons are then free to vote however they like, one could argue that it's not really a bribe. Payment of the fines and fees isn't contingent upon voting for Joe. It's more like a gift, which Team Bloomy is expecting will then elicit a reciprocal gift. But if the candidate were standing outside a polling place, handing $50 bills to people as they walked in, that's obviously illegal. Even though I lost my place. 1 second. Walked in. That's obviously legal, even though it could also technically be spun as a gift rather than a binding transaction. Makes you wonder if Team Bloomy wouldn't have paid off the debts for a few white ex-cons too, just to make their intent here a teeny bit more plausibly deniable. I wonder if someone's going to try to sue. If Florida's Republican establishment is willing to effectively block a constitutional amendment that was passed by the state's voters, they're surely willing to have a prosecutor somewhere up in the chain go after Bloomberg about this. And my take is, they should. This is obviously a bribe. This is obviously a game that they're trying to play here to game the system. They're trying to add voters to the rolls to try and affect the election. This is pretty much the equivalent of what Yang was doing when he was promising money people for their vote. He essentially was trying to bribe people to vote for him. He committed a felony. Bloomberg is committing a felony. There should be laws that prevent people from doing this sort of thing. Now, if a charitable organization wants to help re-enfranchise people, that's different. That's a whole different beast, because it's not a person who tried to run for the frickin' presidency on a Democrat ticket. There's a little bit of a difference there. This is ludicrous what's happening. DeSantis really needs to get on this. If a UBI, if there's a contingency attached to the UBI, then that counts as a bribery as well in my book. If you go out there as a candidate saying, "Hey, vote for me, and I'll give you I'll give you $1,000 a month," well, that's bribery. He was buying votes. He says he wasn't, but that's pretty much what he was doing. That's essentially what he was doing. So to me it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to even fathom the fact that this person is doing this, that Bloomberg is doing this, and he's getting away with it. And this could have an unbalancing effect on the election. This is not right. Now, if you want to talk about re-enfranchising felons and giving them the right to vote and that kind of thing, that's a different discussion to have, and actually I'm more than happy to have that discussion. And there's nothing wrong with trying to get people back into the roles of society here if they've committed crimes. If they can be proven that they paid their debt that they do want to be reintegrated and re-enfranchised in society. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not opposed to that. UBI is just unsustainable. Across 4 states to vote, no, that's incorrect because you can't vote outside of your county. Your little district. You got to vote in your district. So if you're driving people around and you're busing them from out of state, that is election fraud. Does being dug up and reanimated count as well? I guess for the Democrats it does. I mean, I think they're fine with that. Just having people, dead people, vote for them because it seems like if once you die, you become a Democrat. It happened with John F. Kennedy. It happened with Obama. I'm pretty sure it happened with Clinton. So there you have that. So this is amazing to me. Okay, it's amazing to me that this Keebler elf is committing felonies essentially, and he's getting away with it. I would suggest, hey, Ron DeSantis, you have to get on this. Because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous that this is being allowed. It's ridiculous that this sort of election fraud is just out in the open. Brings a whole new level of dyed in the wool Democrat. Yeah, I know, right? For real. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Like once you leave your mortal coil, that all of a sudden you switch parties. I am not sure what the whole process is there. Like in the whole, going from a live body to a dead body. I don't know what the biological processes are, but apparently there's a political trigger in there that goes, "You're now Democrat. Vote blue." And I wonder, it makes you wonder, like people in the afterlife. If you were like a hardcore Republican when you were alive, and you're in the afterlife now, and you're seeing your dead corpse vote Democrat, you're like, son of a bitch! What the hell? I wouldn't be too pleased about that. I don't know who would be. Resident Evil was Democrat guidebook. That explains a lot. Jeez, now I gotta go play that game. I haven't played Resident Evil in a while. I know that they did a remaster of it, but I kind of like the blocky. I kind of like the blocky original on PlayStation 1. I remember playing that on PlayStation 1. I enjoyed that. It was a fun game. Controls were horrific. The controls were horrific. But the game was pretty entertaining. Did Resident Evil 1 ever come out for PC? I'm pretty sure it didn't it? Am I remembering wrong? I'm trying to think if it did come out for PC. I'm pretty sure it did. Because on the console, the controls were so clunky. And the camera controls were like really, it was just really clunky. A horror game should have horrific controls. Well, it definitely added to the stress levels of the game. What happened on Battery Day yesterday? What are you talking about? I'm not sure I follow. Battery Day? But I still liked the game though. It was a fun game. I really did enjoy it. PlayStation 1 was one of those weird beasts for me because Yeah, I was surprised that Resident Evil wasn't available for everything. There's even a DS version. There is a DS version, yeah. I mean, it was wildly popular. Yesterday was Battery Day. Okay. Um, you mean battery as in like Duracell battery? I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm just not following, and that's probably I just probably said one of the stupidest things on stream possible. I'm pretty damn sure I just did that, but I the elongated muskrat gave a Tesla keynote on battery technology. Okay, yeah. So okay, I was right. So I guess I didn't say something that was incredibly stupid. Um, I don't know. I didn't listen to the keynote. I had no idea that yesterday was battery day. I had no idea. No idea. Oddly enough, you know what's funny? I'm gonna reveal a slight little thing about myself here. I was actually thinking about converting a car that I have to an electric car. I was thinking about that because I'm fixing up a car and I'm having a lot of issues. And I was thinking, maybe I should go electric on that one. But the cost would probably be insanely stupid. And I really don't know how well it would work out at the end of the day. Though it would be pretty fascinating to me. But my electric bill is going to go through the roof. I don't know. I mean, it's mostly a selfish thing. Oh, Sloppy Joe's. Oh, I want a Sloppy Joe. Yeah, that's the problem, Mark. That is absolutely... Yeah. Yeah, for my Mustang. I talked about my Mustang already? I forgot I talked about my Mustang. Yeah. That's the problem. It's just prohibitively expensive. And it's mostly for selfish reasons. Charge at the McDonald's. Hey, that's right. I can charge at the McDonald's. I want a Sloppy Joe now. Dang nabbit troll. Why'd you have to mention Sloppy Joes? Ugh. I want that now. I haven't had a Sloppy Joe in a long time. Dang nabbit. But yeah, it's for the Mustang. Go ballistic car? I mean, the main reason why I would want to do that is it's only for the fact that I don't really want to deal with like the fumes. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I talked about my Mustang. Yeah. If you buy two, are you getting sloppy seconds? But bum. Dang nabbit, yes, dang nabbit indeed. But yeah, I was actually seriously considering that yesterday, and I was like, man, if I can find a cost-effective way of doing it, I may convert the car over, because it would really help with like. I'm so tired of dealing with like parts falling apart, like tubing falling apart for gas and other issues, because it's an old car, and it stinks up my garage. Pro tip: use twice the beef and buns to make a morbidly obese Joe. My method of sloppy Joe is not necessarily twice the meat, like two times the 2-for-1 ratio, but it's a ratio that I want to try and at least contain it a little bit, because sloppy Joes can be very sloppy. So I tried to contain it a little bit. I don't mind some sloppiness, but I want to try and eat as much of it, not just have everything fall on my plate. It's more just to deal with exhaust fumes, because I have an issue with it where I'm getting exhaust in the cabin. So because I'm getting exhaust in the cabin, it's becoming kind of a nightmare to get this all situated. And plus, a lot of the parts are just getting old. You got seals that are breaking, you got tubes that are cracking. It's becoming kind of a maintenance nightmare in the sense that because things are aging so rapidly on this thing, that's why I considered that. Because like, well, maybe I can just convert this over, maybe have a small backup engine as a backup, for emergencies. If there's any issue, oh, come on. Cory Booker says Dag Nabbit? Really? I don't recall him saying that. Yeah, there's something going on in my floorboards. I really need to take a look at that. I mean, I need to rewire the whole thing anyway. So I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to have to tear it apart, rewire the entire thing. I just think that I had a guy do that for me, and I just don't think that he did a good job, because I can feel like when I'm shifting gears, I can feel heat coming up through the gear shifter because it's a manual transmission. Troll, come on! I'm trying to read what chat is saying. Like I don't care about your trolling right now, so I'm gonna have to. Okay. Yeah, show me a clip. I've seen some YouTube videos of people converting older cars to electric too. That was the other thing that made me that piqued my interest about it. Excuse me. I pretty much use a can Sloppy Joe, yeah. I've never heard of anybody doing Sloppy Joe from scratch. Has anybody done a Sloppy Joe from scratch? Possibly. I think there's a couple things going on. I think what's going on is like the firewall between the engine compartment and the cabin. I think there may be some things that aren't sealed. Yeah, and I think some of the liner. I think that some of the liner is not set up properly as well. And I think it's also the exhaust lines. I think the exhaust lines going from engine all the way to my exhaust pipes at the back of the car, I think there's some issues going on there that's not perfectly done. So there's like 2 or 3 different things that I need to look at when it comes to that. In a time where people swear constantly, it's more noticeable not to. Yeah, honestly, I have been using some foul language lately. I don't like using that, actually. I want to try and keep my streams not like foul language free, but I get so frustrated. I get so frustrated with certain things that I listen, that I hear, that I see on social media, that they just kind of suck that out of you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Mark, absolutely. I'm gonna have to look into a lot of there's a lot of things I still need to do on this car and finish it up. I definitely want to finish it up. I love the car. I really enjoy it, and I want to enjoy it even more. And this whole fume issue and some of these other issues that I have is making it difficult for me to really enjoy the car. And see, if you guys, if this takes off, if people help me with time for some shameless promotion, hey. If you want to help me fix my car and help me stream, sorry, I had to. No, but seriously, I do want to do some shameless self-promotion, of course. Like, if you support the stream, if you like listening to me, consider supporting it. Streamlabs.com/TheEternalAbyss. I have an Ethereum wallet if you want to do cryptocurrency. Buy me a coffee on coffee, ko.fi. Our resident Ned Flanders, hot diddly do. Anyways, you should do an under the car stream. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I should do maybe I should do a how someone who doesn't know anything about mechanics restores a vehicle stream, just to make people laugh at how horrible of a job I'm doing as a quasi mechanic. I bet it would be exhausting, but I'm bummed. Yes. Take my wife, please. Anyways. Lovely joke. Thank you. I needed that. But the point is, yeah. Hey, thank you, troll. I appreciate that. I'll look out for the 5 Ethereum. I'll take a look for that. Thank you so much. But yeah, if you support me, great. If you donate, wonderful. Honestly, the best thing you can do for me, that anybody can do for me, is follow, share, subscribe, hit notification bell on all the platforms that I'm on. On Twitter, on Gab, Parler, Float, Minds, library.com, LBRY.com, BitChute, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Bitwave, DLive, all the platforms. If you can follow and share, help me grow, help me get viewers. Really, that's the best way you can help me, more so than actually any sort of monetary donation. So please do so. Please support me. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. And we're not going to do any stream in the morning. So we're going to do it in the evening. We're going to have our evening stream. And really, that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about today. You could do a run the engine with the garage door closed stream, but just once. Yeah, that'd be a one-time performance right there. A single event. It could be a paid service in the right state. I'm thinking Texas, right, Mark? Is that what you're thinking of? I'm sure some would do it for free. Yeah, probably. Oh boy. But anyways, I had fun, guys. I always enjoy doing my streams here, and I enjoy... actually, I haven't even checked my other chats for a while because I got so distracted here with Bitwave. Okay. Where's my restream chat? Oh, here it is. All right. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I think we're going to call it a day for now. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to see all of you here. And we'll talk more about news items. Maybe we'll talk a bit more about my Mustang. I don't know. Maybe we'll do some Fate of Atlantis again. We'll try and get unstuck. But I can only do it once. Yeah. I remember that cartoon. I love that. That was a great cartoon. Really, really good cartoon. I love Warner Brothers cartoons. But hey, we'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No stream in the morning tomorrow. And yeah, we're gonna see what kind of fun we can drum up, and I hope to see you all there. So remember, kids, I'm gonna sign off as I usually do. Remember, kids, don't be complacent. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.